right, we are back with another episode of Sessions with Mary Jane. I'm your host, Jordan Freed, and we are back. This is my third episode of the day, so if you're looking at my clothing and you're just like, why does he wear the same shirt all the time? I actually shredded the shirt. I was wearing a sweatshirt in the first episode of the day, shredded the sweatshirt there, and then now I'm in this shirt, and I'm here right now. Just a heads up on some upcoming shows. I am going to be performing with Junk Mail Improv at the Montclair Comedy Festival, and that should be coming up on November 15th. So I think that's a week or two, depending on when this comes out. Maybe it's this week. I don't even know. But it's good that I'm bringing up this Junk Mail Improv show, because we actually have a member of Junk Mail Improv in the studio today. He is a very talented improviser. He is working his way into stand-up as well, and he's also a very talented visual artist. Give it up for Aleko Giatrakis.
Hi. Thank you for saying my name correctly.
I did it?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I've known you long enough that I was just like, I gotta know it, right? I have to know how it's said, right?
I saw like a momentary flash go across your eyes of just like, I know it's right, but I just have to jump with it.
Because like your Instagram's like Aleko Gia.
Yeah.
Aleko Gia.
Yes.
So then I always like say that in my head when I look at your thing, even though I know your name is Aleko.
Well, I have an extra shirt if you want to pause.
No, we're good. We'll be authentic. We'll be very genuine today.
Okay.
But welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Have you ever done a podcast before? Am I your first podcast?
You're my first podcast.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wow.
I'm a regular person.
You're a regular person. You're regular, but you're also extraordinary as well. Yeah. There's a little bit of both things going on. A little regular,
yeah, a
little awesome.
I think at this point in the history of podcasts, only about 75% of people have not been on a podcast.
Yeah.
And now I've moved over.
I think I had 2 first timers. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know if Eddie's ever been on a podcast either. So.
Well, we'll see how it goes today.
Exclusive content here on Sessions with Mary Jane. But welcome to the podcast. You're coming from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. But you grew up in the Hudson Valley, right?
I did, yes.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Rockland County. It's right across the river from Westchester. People know that a little bit easier. Yeah, and I've lived all over. I'm not super all over. I've lived in Boston, Rhode Island. Now I live in New York. And, spent a lot of time in the Hudson Valley. A little bit, kind of going all over the place.
What was it like growing up in Rockland County? Because this is the Sessions with Mary Jane podcast. So for people, this is a Hudson Valley and New Jersey podcast.
Yes.
We love Rockland County here. We think Rockland County is sick here.
Okay. I loved growing up there. It was like, a nice community of people. I went to the high school that my mom worked at.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a little miniature form of celebrity that like all of my teachers knew my mom all the way going down to elementary school. And they're like, oh, is your mom so-and-so? I'm like, yes, that is my mom. And then only one time a teacher was like, oh, I thought your mom had 2 girls. I was like, oh, no, I just had really long curly hair as a child.
Wow. So that was like good. That was like
Yeah.
being a celebrity. Because my dad was a teacher, but I did not go to the school that he taught at. So I had a very different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty large high school or medium size. I'm not certain, whatever. I had like 600 people in my graduating class.
Oh my gosh, that is a large high school. Wait, where'd you go to high school?
North Rockland High School.
Oh, okay, where that is the big one.
Yeah. And I mean, I never had my mom as a teacher.
Yeah.
But my friend David had his dad as a French teacher.
Oh wow.
Because we only had one French teacher as opposed to my mom, who was a math teacher. And his dad said it like the first week of class. He was like, oh, well, I can't go into your room and check to make sure you're doing your French homework. And we all paused and like looked at his son. Like, well, you can for one of us. And it took him like a full 5 seconds to realize we were looking at David. And then he was like, oh, well, you know, not him.
That's funny. That's so weird because I feel like that would be like a conflict of interest. It's funny that they just let that happen. They should have made him learn Spanish or Latin or some shit.
Well, he would have also been with his dad.
Oh, wow.
His dad was the French and Spanish teacher.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, they had more than one, but when you got to like the higher levels of Spanish in high school, there was really only one teacher who taught it.
We're gonna investigate him going on the Europe trip. No, I was like, how'd you get picked for the Europe trip? That's awesome. And you went to school locally, or where'd you go to college?
I went to a state school. I went to SUNY New Paltz.
Oh, hell yeah! What'd you think of New Paltz?
I didn't like it at first, and then it grew on me. I had to find like the right people.
Yeah, because it's a pretty kind of stonery school. That's not the realm you come from necessarily.
No. I had a high school teacher who, you know, in senior year they had, oh, where are you going to college? And I had said to like my AP Calc teacher, I was like, hey, I'm going to New Paltz. And he was like, oh, you're going to love it there. And I didn't know what he meant. And I knew what my face looked like. I knew I always looked like perpetually high because I have like droopy eyes. And there were like more than one person like just like naturally assumed that I was high all the time. And just like, no, I have a very low voice and I talk very slow. I like to pause. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, that was an insult.
Wow. So not a stoner, but New Paltz is artsy and weird.
Yes.
So like, did you go to study visual arts or graphic design? Or?
I did. So, yes, I was a graphic designer for a long time. I went there to be... I had gotten some really bunk advice in high school. We're talking about high school a lot. I'd gotten some really bunk advice.
That's where it starts. That's
yeah.
the origin.
I had gotten some really just kind of like not good advice for what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. And my one of my art teachers in high school said, don't go to an arts college. Go get a liberal arts degree and you can like take fine arts classes because you'll be more marketable, or you'll at least have a liberal arts degree as opposed to a specific arts degree. And unless you are practicing all the time and like really putting yourself out there, you're not really learning how to be an illustrator in that way for comic books. That's a more specialized skill of something that you practice over and over again at like a visual arts college that is really going to like gear you towards that career. And I was originally going to get like a BFA in painting, and eventually I was like, being an artist just on my own, and I don't do well with that lack of structure.
Yeah.
I need like a job that I go to every day, and I was just like, I have to transition to a different kind of career. And I started taking some graphic design classes because I had applied for some internships through Marvel, and they all wanted me to be proficient in like Adobe InDesign, Illustrator, all that whole suite. And I wasn't. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I can take classes that will teach me how. And I really enjoyed them. And I knew that like typography was something I really enjoyed well before that. But it wasn't until I started taking classes in it that I was like, oh, this is something I can do as like a career, like designing books, which eventually I was like a cookbook designer for a little while. I was a web designer for a hospital. For the longest time, I worked as just like an in-house marketing graphic designer. And now I'm a teacher.
Was that something you always did? Were you always good with your hands, like drawing, and felt comfortable with that, and it was just easy?
Yeah, I was always making art and always wanted to get better. And now that I'm, an adult and I have my own money, I can take the classes that I want to take to get better in the skills that I didn't do earlier on. And there's like this immense freedom that you get to have as an adult, that like, oh yeah, I don't have to feel bad that I'm like asking somebody to help me like pay for a class as like a teenager to like get better at drawing. That kind of
Yeah.
felt like selfish or something.
Yeah, for sure. Then you kind of get to be your own boss and
Yeah.
figure it out. What were like the early comic books, or like what inspired you, or what did you see yourself drawing one day?
I mean, like any queer person, I loved X-Men.
I don't know too much about the connection. What is the connection between queer people and X-Men?
Oh, because X-Men is like an allegory for people who are different, for queer people, for less so, but still there are these tendons to like people of color, and it's just like people who didn't grow up in that where you felt off and different from everybody else. And that was like the whole point of the X-Men, that like their powers weren't like given to them by a radioactive spider or like immense gamma rays, that they were just like born with it. And during puberty, when a lot of people figure out their sexuality, it's like, oh, now I understand why I'm different.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And that's when like mutants would get their powers.
Huh. So
Yeah.
that was like the early influences.
Yeah, I was a big fan of, Sunday comic strips. I loved newspaper comic strips. I loved Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Well, you're a very funny person, so I feel like you had to be reading a little bit of those comic strips. You got that wit.
Yeah, I loved it for the artistry and storytelling.
Do you fuck with The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay? Have you ever read that novel?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
It's kind of similar themes.
Okay.
I read it a long time ago, but I think there are queer themes along with also being about like a guy who wants to be a comic book artist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I read it, I was like, this is one of my favorite novels, but now I haven't read it in like probably 18 years.
Do you have it? Like, could I borrow it? Or
I might have a copy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We could definitely do a book exchange.
All right.
We can make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of your background in the comic art,
Yes.
but now you are a different type of comic.
Yes.
How did this come about that you got into the comedy world?
I was just a massive Tina Fey fan, silently, just like in my head, adore her. And I listened to her audiobook, I think like 10 times. And when I was in college, and you learn like, oh, she learned about improv, and I was like, oh yeah, the way that she described herself, I was like, oh yeah, that feels very similar to me. That like she, not that I'm a woman, she was describing women in comedy as like good daughters, good students. Like the only way that they expressed their deviancy was through comedy. And I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And that she like took all these improv classes in Chicago, and it was like an improviser for a long time. I was like, oh, this is like something that I could do that would be fun, that would get me to meet people. And I was living in Boston, and I saw an ad on the subway in Boston for Improv Asylum.
Nice.
Which their ad was like, are you lonely? I was like, yeah, I've been meaning to take an improv class. I am lonely.
Yeah, way to target me.
Living in a new city. And I really enjoyed it. And then I had a boss who recommended an improv theater in New York when I had like moved back to the Hudson Valley, and the Magnet Theater. And I was like, oh yeah, I can go into the city on a Saturday. And I started taking classes there, and now it's been like 10 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm still having fun.
For sure. What were the early foundations of like Improv Asylum? Because I've never done any of their classes. I've heard of them for sure, and there's a lot of overlap between the New York scene and the Boston scene.
Yeah. Well, now they have a theater in New York.
Oh, nice.
But it was really fun. It got me out of the house. It got me meeting people.
They do
Just
like long form or short form?
It was really like a 101 class. There wasn't like a class show at the end, which, like, if you take other improv classes, after you finish your like 8 weeks of lessons, then you do like a class show. They didn't have that. It was just like, we're playing games and we're, you know, practicing what it means to be in a scene and how to talk to each other. Like some lessons that I hold on to was like, it's never anybody's first day whenever you're in an improv scene, because often somebody will come in and be like, so I'm going to teach you how to do this thing. And, you know, they really stress like, we're not here to see like you learn how to do something.
Yeah.
We're here to see the dynamic between these two people, because that's really boring to like watch someone teach somebody how to, you know, change the chain on a bicycle. Like, that's not interesting. But like, who are these two people to each other?
I don't think you're fixing the bike right. Oh yeah, I've never done this before.
I'm sorry, are you gonna show me? But then when you start to add details like, Dad, I know you've shown me like 7 times this week, but I keep on jumping over the gorge and breaking my bike. Now I've added so many more details. And they might not be good details, but at least I'm adding details.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, this is like the one piece of information that I can't remember because I keep on hitting my head on a rock. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see the blood dripping down.
So you moved back from Boston, and you were in the Hudson Valley, but going into the city?
Yeah, I was commuting in.
Nice. So how was that experience? Because, like, I don't know. I feel like where we grew up, because, like, I grew up an hour and 15 from the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're always aware of the city and we get taken there for special occasions. But, like, what was your experience with the city when you started taking these classes?
Oh, well, before, I'm going to just like slide a little bit. Like,
definitely.
Before going into the city for classes, I'd only been in the city like a handful of times for like school field trips. And it would make me really nervous being in the city because I always would panic thinking I would get separated from the group and be lost. And then I would spiral thinking like, I'm never going to be able to get back home and I'm going to have to walk and figure it out and like whatever. And like one time I was in college and we took a field trip to FIT to go see a designer do a lecture, to give a lecture. And I was just really anxious. And when I get really anxious, I become very stiff and wooden. And which I'm kind of like right now. But there was this other guy who went with us, another, you know, a classmate. And I don't know why, but he was like being a colossal ass. And I could not handle it. I couldn't just like ignore him. And he was saying like, if you see somebody raising their arm to hail a taxi, go give them a high five. And I was just like, no. And he's like, what? And he's like pressuring, like, oh, why not? Being like a jerk about it. And I was just like, because it's a dick move. And everyone looked at me like, why are you being the asshole, right? I'm being the asshole, right? Because I'm like, what New Yorker is gonna like go up and give somebody a high five for hailing a cab?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm and then I was like, I cannot be around people right now.
Wow.
But then I started going into the city by myself and like having to navigate it on your own. It's like a little bit more freeing because you're not concerned, am I going to get separated from a group? Because there's no group.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, it's on me to get me where I need to go and get home. And, you know, Google Map everything beforehand and have like a printout of directions before like smartphones are what they are now, where like everybody can just like in 2 seconds have a map on their phone. I know, really exciting, but like
no, that's real.
But yeah, then it became a lot easier. And it was also like a trip that was not terribly long. It was like an hour and a half to get in and out, to get into the city and then to go home. I had commuted like 3 hours one way for work for one job. I was commuting from Rhode Island into Boston.
Oh, wow.
And then I would like commute another 3 hours to go home at night. And whenever I would talk to anybody about like dating, I would say like, yeah, long distance doesn't bother me because like I'm used to traveling.
Yeah, for sure. You set yourself up for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And now my boyfriend lives like an hour and a half away from me, and we live in New York City together.
Oh, wow. Both in New York City and still an hour and a half away.
Yeah, he lives all the way at the top of Manhattan and Washington Heights, and I live all the way in the south of Brooklyn and Bay Ridge, and that's on complete opposite ends of the city.
Did you feel like you needed to move to the city to get more in touch with the queer culture? Or did you feel like, I'd be fine anywhere, the Hudson Valley, Rhode Island, wherever? Or was it kind of like you felt the pull?
I've been trying to move into the city for a while, and I got a job as a teacher, and that fortunately allowed me to like be able to afford an apartment on my own, that I didn't need to have roommates. And it was, I'm like very happy to be living in the city. I love being able to walk everywhere. I would walk everywhere anyway in the suburbs, but then you're like one person walking on the sidewalk and you feel a little bit out of place.
Hey, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Why isn't he in a car?
I told you about this on a different day, but I was in Rhode Island and I was riding a bike, and some asshat in a car got really mad at me for being on a bicycle and was just yelling at me, just like, why was I on a bike, faggot? And I was just like, what the fuck? And at one point he pulls up next to me and he stops and he's like, oh, I bet you love this. And I didn't have to look in the car to know that he had his cock out. And I just like, I knew without, I was like, I'm very happy that I didn't look. And he's just like kind of like trying to get my attention. There's like another person in the car with him who's like, yeah, like trying to get me to look in. And then they like speed off, and I yell like, fuck off. And then they like give me the middle finger.
Wow.
And that's, I mean, that happens in a lot of different places. It's not like it couldn't happen in a city, but yeah, when you're out in the suburbs, you're just much more visible.
Yeah, I guess so. Damn, many hate crimes.
It's just someone yelling. I've had all three. I've had not all, but I've had three different, what I call the trifecta of like men yelling things from cars.
Oh yeah, there's three. There's three categories.
Like one time, this one guy it was like in the middle of wintertime, so I had like a black snow cap on. I was wearing a jacket and I had black gloves. And like, if you were looking at me, you could tell that they were, a hat and gloves.
Yeah. But
some idiot drove by me, and as they were driving by me, they yelled the N-word at me. And as they pass and they see that I'm quite obviously white, they start laughing because they're like, they got it wrong. And then another time I had like slightly,
did they yell out, never mind?
No. But I did have like slightly longer hair at a different point in time. It was like down to my ears.
Oh, wow.
And some guy yelled, from behind from his car, he was like, show me your boobs. And then like as he passed and he saw that I was a man, he was like, oh, sorry. I was just like, oh, well.
He just slows up. You get it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would have done the same thing, right?
This has happened to you before. No, it hasn't. And
Wow.
not since.
That's crazy.
So, and like other times people have called me like, an F from their car.
Damn.
And that's, obviously more often than the other ones.
Yeah, that's very common.
So
very common to yell out the window of cars.
yeah,
It's a safe place.
yeah.
For the people yelling.
And like one time I don't want to say it was deserved, but I was like wearing a very gay outfit. I was wearing like short shorts, and one guy like the Doppler effect was just like fuck it.
Damn. But we don't victim blame on this podcast.
No, we don't.
No, that's the last thing we do, unless it's a little funny, and then
Yeah.
we'll giggle about it a little bit. So do you feel like, because it's funny, like a lot of your improv characters, I feel like are people who like eventually lose their shit. Like I feel like the Aleko boiling
Yeah.
is like something you do in scenes a lot that's just hilarious. Do you have like anger? Like, because you're a very quiet person and a very mild-mannered person, but then when you go up on the improv stage, like you come out of your shell and you see sides of Aleko that you never would have thought you could see.
Well, with my Superman glasses, my Clark Kent glasses, very mild-mannered. I mean, improv is like a lot of freedom to like choose a character and get to be whoever you want and not be concerned like, oh, is this like acceptable? Is this other person going to like reject what I'm doing? Because the whole point of improv is that the other person agrees with what you're doing. And I do love, you know, a role reversal in a scene of like, you know, going from high status to low status. I like a monologue. I like doing an act out. That's always fun. You know, just the basics of improv.
Did you do theater growing up at all?
No.
So this is all stuff that you just like picked up just going to improv classes, and you're just like, oh, I think I could do this.
Yeah.
I think I could make this voice. I think I could do that.
Yeah, I like, I mean, it's all just play. It's all having fun with the other person. And when you spend too much time being an overly serious person, it's nice having this like freedom to let loose and relax with somebody else and just have fun goofing. And I like, I mean, Reena makes me do it all the time. I'm just like, I like to shock people. Like that's, I like a surprise.
Oh yeah, no, you're a wild card. Because were the Hammerheads your first like troupe that was like a regular troupe?
It was like the first house team that I was on. I had done like other improv teams, but it wasn't like a consistent thing. I didn't make like any teams through the Magnet Theater. I wasn't good enough for anything. That's
so absurd to hear. So what we're talking about is Rhino Comedy. Aleko was in the third house troupe, the Hammerheads. How did you find out about that audition? Because like there wasn't like an active improv scene, so it was like very funny where people would come from. Because like the first crop of people at Rhino were like people from Ramapo College generally, and then some people who had found out about it through like RCC theater or something like that. Then the second group was very much like they posted this in a New Jersey or a Hudson Valley comedy page, and that's how people found out about it. And then the third troupe, I feel like it was even further from that. Like it was like people were coming from all over. People had come to see classes. They had friends who did improv there. So how did you get into that world?
My dad does stand up, and he's been taking like the same stand up class.
Oh, I always forget that.
Through like the same teacher for the last, I mean, he hasn't done it in a few years, but he was taking it for like consistently for like 6 years.
Oh wow.
And it was like the same middle-aged people who like live in New York and Connecticut. It was like a theater in Connecticut. And he saw an ad for like an open mic through the Rhino Comedy page. It was like on Facebook. And he said, oh, you should go, or we should go. And we went, and then you guys had advertised like at that night, like, oh, join us for improv auditions. And my dad had said, oh, like, go. It's like in our backyard. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll try it out. And I had for years read like movie reviews about like, oh, these two actors never have any chemistry together, and I was like, isn't that their whole job, is to have chemistry?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand, like, I never was watching a movie and being like, oh, they don't have any chemistry together. And I'd been doing improv for a really long time, but it wasn't until I had gotten to the Rhino that I was with a group of people that I felt like I had genuine chemistry with. I was like, oh, this feels much more comfortable. Even though I was having fun with people in the city doing improv, it was like people like Reena and Brendan and you and other people through Rhino that I was like, oh, these are people that I feel like I really click with, and it's easy to have an improv scene with them.
Yeah. I felt like because people didn't go to that area to do improv per se, it felt like we were kind of like the island of misfit toys, and it was like, what? This person's amazing. How has nobody discovered this person? Like, you just keep meeting people and you're just like, this person's hilarious. This person's hilarious. Like,
yeah.
What brought them back here? Oh, they were working a job and now they're changing their entire lives. This person hasn't hung out with friends in forever and they have a boring job and now they're here. And
yes.
It's like, it really was like an Avengers type situation where you're just like, how all of these people here? It's so weird. How did they assemble here, and like why? And like, it was such a sleepy town that like there really wasn't that much going on in the town. Like, they had a couple of bars that were popping, but like there was really no reason for it to be there whatsoever.
And then you would watch. You know, we had to volunteer for doing the lights.
Oh yeah.
We had our rotating job at the theater. And then you'd have to volunteer for their open mic nights, and you just see really shitty open mic improv, which is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But it's like people who think that because they live in proximity to New York City, that means that their stand-up is good.
Oh yeah. The Hudson Valley is full of people who took a couple UCB classes. They're like, yeah, I do improv. I did improv 7 years ago. Yeah, that's great. Great times.
And they're just like, my wife. And it's like, no, thank you.
Come on, just one more my wife scene.
No. I took all of my advice from like bad 90s stand-ups as like a teenager. Because I was obsessed with stand-up.
Really?
And who
were you listening to back then?
I was watching like anybody on Comedy Central with their like half-hour stand-up special.
Golden age.
Yeah. But it wasn't until I saw Maria Bamford on her special on Comedy Central, like her half hour. And I was like, oh, this is what stand-up is supposed to be. Because I loved the format of it, the art form. But like seeing her material and the way that she did it, I was like, oh, this is what it should be. But I had, I just loved the format anyway. And I got all of my advice from bad 90s stand-up of like, my wife or my girlfriend or I'm bad in bed or I don't remember any anniversaries. And as like a fifth grader, I was determined that if ever I got a girlfriend, which is to tell you where I was at the time, if ever I got a girlfriend, I would keep a little black book of all the dates so that I would never be surprised with like her saying, do you know what today is? Oh, it's the first day that we had ice cream together. Because that's the way that all men had portrayed women, that like, oh, they remember the first time they bought you a shirt and they celebrated in their heads. But they don't tell you. I was like determined.
Wow.
That I was like, I'm never going to forget anything. And then I get my first boyfriend. And after 1 month, he was like, it's been a month. And I was like, oh shit, it has. And then I like mentally prepared, every 7th.
Wow. So that did shape you.
Yeah.
Wow. So we've talked about the mind. We've talked about your vision. But now we got to talk about body.
Okay.
Because you're also an athlete.
Yeah, sure.
That's a huge part of your life, right?
I'm not, but okay.
Not a huge part of your life?
No, I mean, I work out. I try to. There's some days.
You're not a big soccer player?
I mean, I play in a gay sports league. That's like, it's to get out and meet people, really.
You're in GSL. You're in the big leagues.
It's it's called the Ramblers.
The Ramblers.
That's the name of the league.
Word.
It's fine. It's it's enjoyable. I get to like play soccer once a week. You get to hang out with other gay men. You get to make new friends, and it's for urban professionals.
Word.
Yeah.
Because like I used to be in sports leagues, all growing up.
Yes.
And I haven't been in shit, so like I miss that.
I mean,
so it's more from a area of like, I miss that. I miss the organization. Like, why can't somebody just tell me where to go and just play a sport?
Yes. Show up on this Saturday and we're gonna have a tournament. I mean, there are plenty of adult leagues, I'm sure, in New Jersey for various sports. Or if you wanted to commute into Manhattan because you're very close. But yeah, I mean, I played growing up a bunch of different sports, soccer for the longest time. And then for 10 years, I didn't play any sports. And I had gone out with a guy who was in a gay bowling league. And he was talking about it. And the way that he was describing it was like, well, first we go out to brunch and we drink. Then we go bowling and we drink while we're bowling. And then we go out to dinner after bowling and we drink again. And I was like, oh, that's not my speed.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other sports in the city. There has to be. So just like a quick Google search. And I find like gay volleyball, gay basketball, gay soccer. I was like, well, I played soccer. That should be the easiest for me to kind of like slip into. And yeah, you play and then you go out drinking after. So at least it's only one.
Yeah.
one stop of drinking.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to play soccer when you're drinking all day, probably.
Some people do.
What are like your kind of creative white whales right now? Like, do you still paint? Do you still keep active with that? So use it or lose it kind of a thing?
I am in the middle of taking a painting class.
Nice.
I wasn't very familiar with oil painting as a medium. I'd done a lot of other kinds of painting, and other mediums, wood and metal and other things, graphic design, photography, and
what hasn't he done?
So I'm taking a class right now. I'm having a good time. I want to improve my skills by a lot more before I tackle this idea that I've held on for the last 10 years. I think I've shared it with you before. I want to do a painting of the, Madonna with child, and Virgin Mary with baby Jesus, that she has like this look on her face of like, I'm your mother. I am your mother. Just let me blow your nose. And he's like anachronistically going to sneeze into his elbow, and he's got like this face on, and the title of the painting would be like, obviously, God bless you. But I have improved a lot with my painting skills. This is the painting I'm working on currently. For people watching, you're not going to be able to see this. But this is...
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
The painting that I'm working on currently.
Wow.
So I want to be a lot more comfortable and familiar with oil painting. This is only my second oil painting class.
Nice. Well, you're pretty good so far.
Thank you. I mean, I have a lot of other, figure drawing experience, and
I keep getting invited on Partyful. Do you have Partyful?
Yeah.
I keep getting invited to this person I met like 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. She keeps inviting me to this figure drawing class, and I'm just like,
you should go.
Yeah, but I'm like not a good drawer. I feel like I would just feel weird because I'm just looking at a naked person and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, just drawing like cartoon breasts. Like,
well, you don't start with the breasts. I mean, you can, but like most people start somewhere else. I start with the genitals.
The most detailed needed.
Yeah.
You never want to screw up someone's genitals.
No.
That'll get someone really mad at you.
Yeah. Oh, my nipple doesn't look like that.
What are all those squigglies down there?
No, that's the only way you get better is by practicing. You just have to like jump into it, because there will be people there of all different skill levels. And you should never feel bad that somebody is quote unquote better. It's just that they either have more experience, or they've I was probably just that they have more experience. They've been doing it for longer.
I guess people who are more skilled, or if I'm less skilled, I'm more abstract.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what you call bad painters, abstract. Now I'm just playing.
Art is a way of looking, and it helps develop your observational skills, and to recognize the different musculature if you're doing the human body, and skeletal structure, and like the way that they're posing and standing, that you'll see different muscles in the neck or in the shoulder or in the back, that you start to recognize the form more. It really is just repeated looking. And first of all, the model knows that you're there to look at them.
Yeah.
So you being like, oh, I'm looking at a dick. Oh, that must be super awkward for them. They signed up for it. They're getting paid.
Yeah, for sure.
They want to be there.
I feel like I'd more be that person than I would be the person drawing. I feel like that's more my speed. I feel like I'm more the hired help as opposed to the person paying for the art class.
I mean, people are always looking for models for figure drawing classes, and often people are still clothed. They wear their underwear.
Cool. That's good to know.
So, if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, no. Definitely let me know if you can get me a paycheck. Go.
Well, contact that friend of yours.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure they would love to have you as a model.
Maybe that would be good. I should just be like, I cannot afford to come to your model party. Can I be the model?
I do a figure drawing class on like Wednesday nights sometimes, and they charge you either like $20 to take the class, like every Wednesday that you go, or they pay you like, I don't know, something like $20 to be the model. And they always have like both right next to each other. I'm just like, well, for you to get out to Brooklyn, it would cost you more to get there.
Yeah, probably. I would walk away with like $1.25.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure there's something in New Jersey.
What are you watching these days that you think is hilarious?
What am I? I mean, like,
what do you think people have to watch? Like, what?
What should people watch?
What's hot right now, Aleko?
I mean, I watch.
You also see a lot of theater.
I see a lot of theater, and I watch a lot.
You have a lot of hobbies, so you don't seem like you're just watching all day.
No, I'm not. I just saw with Reena yesterday Ginger Twinsies, which was so much fun. It's a great play. Advertisement for them. It ends October 25th.
Okay, this is gonna be done by then. It was a great run. Great job, guys.
Yeah, that was very good. What else? I really enjoyed this TV show called Cherry Magic 30 Years of Being a Virgin Makes Me a Wizard.
That's the whole title?
It's the whole title, if I haven't like mixed up some of the words. It's just like very adorable and sweet. And the premise of it is that like there's this main character. It's an anime.
Okay.
There's this main character who he turns 30 and he wakes up with tactile telepathy. So he has to touch you to be able to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
It's because he's a virgin. Everyone's like, he thinks he's so awkward, and it's not until he can start to hear everybody's thoughts that he starts to understand people better, and then he gets a boyfriend, and he has sex, and then he loses his powers because he's no longer a virgin.
Oh, wow.
It's like the whole arc of the show.
Wow.
And it was like sweet and adorable, and like very similar to like Heartstopper, if you know that show on Netflix, which is a live action show. I have to stress because I watch so many animated shows, and it's just like a sweet little rom-com between Heartstopper is like a sweet little rom-com between two high school boys, and then I'm just gonna shorten it and call it Cherry Magic. Is a cute little rom-com between like the 30-year-old office workers.
So you have a type.
Yes, I have a type. What else am I? I'm like, regular. I don't want to say regular things, but things that are new, like whatever comes on Netflix or
Word. The algorithm.
The algorithm that feeds it to you. I don't know. I'd have to go through my phone.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your accountability partner right now.
Okay.
You told me that you want to do stand-up. What spawned that decision to want to get into stand-up?
Oh, I've done.
And this is cool because now you could look back in like 20 years and be like, I talked about this. There's a recording of me talking about this before I even knew what was happening.
Well,
so you have done stuff.
I have. I did. I took a class. I'm all about taking a class.
Yeah. The child of educators.
Yes. Both my parents were teachers. They're retired now. I took a stand-up comedy class and then did like a 5-minute set that's
nice.
recorded. And I did that 10 years ago and then never did stand-up again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And because I didn't feel like I had any other jokes to say. And if you're not writing, if you're not doing any stand-up, then like you just did it to do it. You're not like trying to make a career out of it.
Yeah.
But I've been like really like feeling like I want to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. And so that's what's gotten me to like want to do some stand-up, because I feel like that's the format to talk about that specific thing. Like the medium is the message. Everyone's talking about the male loneliness epidemic. Or not everybody, a lot of people are. And
speak on it. We're two men and we're lonely.
Yes. And my cousin once removed something. My father's cousin. So I don't know what that's specifically called. I went to a 60th wedding anniversary, and he was talking about, he was expressing the arc of his love with his wife, who is my dad's cousin, and they've been married for 60 years, and apparently he was like 19 years old at the time, and betrothed to an 11-year-old, and he was given a picture, and he said, oh, that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. And they didn't meet until she was 14 in person, and then they didn't consummate the relationship until she was like 16, 17, which for that time I think is about average. But like to be betrothed to an 11-year-old and say, oh, that's the prettiest girl I've ever seen. I was like, are you, because in that same speech that he's like expressing his entire history with his wife, he obviously, because he's like 80 or something, like at this point 79 or something, that like in his 80s, sorry, that he's doing like this whole things used to be like this and now they're like this. He's like doing this comparing, like they used to be really great and now they're like this. And at one point he goes in the speech, and gay people were the life of the party and that was it. And it did not connect to anything before that sentence, and it did not connect to anything after that sentence. And he like made eye contact with me because I was the only person there at the party who was gay. And after his timed 15-minute speech, which is a long time for speech, he like comes up to me to check in with me, and he tries to be a little bit coy about it. He's like, hey, I'm just checking to see if you got all the references. And I know how to be diplomatic. I know how to be like, oh yeah, I understood everything. And then his wife comes up and she's less coy about it. And she's like, oh, he's just of that generation. I hope you didn't take any offense to it. I'm just like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, internally, I'm not going to make a scene here. I was just like, when I was like, okay, so he's betrothed to an 11-year-old, but I have to be the life of the party and then go home to nothing? I was like, that is such bullshit. And I was thinking to myself, oh, well, maybe the male loneliness epidemic isn't so much a new thing, because men used to be like wed to, like, you'd have a 30-year-old man who was like, this is the whole
picking his nose, scratching his ass. Oh, we found a 13-year-old for you.
Yeah, this is the whole Mr. Rochester of it all.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I'm a 30-something-year-old man who's betrothed to my like live-in nanny who's like 18 years old. It's like, the male loneliness epidemic isn't a new thing. It's kind of always been there. And like the way that my grandmother explained her relationship with her husband, my grandfather, who I never met because he died before I was born, was just like, she showed up at his house one day and he was asleep, and she always jokes, oh, and that's to show you the impression I made on him. That like he just kind of like opened his eyes and was like, oh, she'll do, and then went back to sleep, and that was like their love story. Just like, yeah, you went to somebody's house and you happen to be a 30-year-old man and your wife was like 19 or you're the and like, yeah, and now you have you have Charlie Kirk who used to say like, oh yeah, you should marry instead of going to college. Or you have like that other right-wing influencer who wouldn't let his wife drive to the grocery store. His pregnant wife drive to the grocery store, that she had to walk it. I forget this guy's name, but wow. Just like, he wouldn't.
Obviously a big fan of these podcasters.
Yeah. I was just like, this feels like obviously the story that I just told is not like a stand-up ready story.
Oh yeah, but that's just where the inspiration's coming from. It's all around us.
Yeah. I was just like, this feels like the medium to kind of express that kind of story. I was just like, yeah, the male loneliness epidemic is not a new thing. It's kind of always been happening, and men have historically been very lazy to go out and find a partner.
Yeah. That
they just want like a young woman or a child in some cases, who's like not going to be very worldly and know the difference. Just like, oh, she'll take care of me. And they say that like men who are married and are older have very high happiness levels, but women who are married and older have very low happiness levels. And women who are single and older, live by themselves or whatever, have higher happiness levels than anybody.
Oh wow.
At that age group. Especially like without children. Just like, yeah, if you could be happy by yourself and not stressed because your kids are assholes or your husband is like, where's the salt?
Husbands love salt.
Oh, where'd you put my shirt? Oh, where's the orange juice? It's in the fridge where it always is. Oh, where's the plates? Above the sink where they always are. You know, like, how many stupid questions do wives have to answer every day? Because their husbands can't bother to remember that, like, this is where tissues are located in the house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Or to, like, pick up the dry cleaning. Why don't I have any clean shirts?
Well, that feels like a great place to end this one.
Okay.
This has been an awesome time, Aleko. Did we hit everything? Was it all you expected and dreamed of?
Oh, but more.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. You can catch Aleko November 15th at the Darasa House of Diversified Arts in Montclair, New Jersey. I think the show is at 6 p.m., but we will have the exact time in the description below. Follow Aleko on Instagram, Aleko Gia. Yeah.
ALEKOGIA.
Anything else people should look out soon?
You should look. I'm just noticing my picture in the monitor. You should check out my twin, Rachel Maddow.
We're just plugging Rachel Maddow tonight.
We have the same glasses and haircut.
And very comfy sweatshirts.
Yes. Yeah. And pale skin.
Well, thank you so much, Aleko. This was a great joy.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have you back in here once you're doing stand-up all over.
Sure.
Perhaps.
If ever.
Peace out, y'all.